Hey sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Same if this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all shower me here with. I am grateful, and you all are super sweet. So there is something going on in Tennessee right now, and I am so scared because I really do not want anything to happen to those young men. They have really been a great voices to Black people, especially in Tennessee's House, and they were duly elected by the people because they are great voices, right? So it was there were meeting and all that in the House, and they were actually calling out the need for pupil reform, and also they made mention of providing good health care and paying the teachers well, because when teachers are paid well, there is gun reform and the rest of it. Trust me, a lot of things will be going on great. Guess what they did actually? What they did was that they shut them down for all through the period they were having the meeting, so they could not speak. Why? Because they said they were out of order. When they were not out of order, but people that look like them, when they are out of order, they were all asked to, stick to the topic that they are talking about and all that. But people that look like me, there was nothing out of order with what they were saying. They were just telling them the reality and the truth. But then they hit the gravel just to shut them down throughout the meeting. And then I am asking, what happened to democracy? I thought we were all who all said that it's going to be government for the people and all the people by the people and the rest of it. So what is happening to it? I know right from time they have always been scared of those young men because they have been a great voices, and all they want to do is just to shut them down. They do not want them to speak, not even for a minute and all that. And it hasn't been long, they just got back from the expulsion and just to resume, and this is happening. I'm just going to roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you all think in the comments. So straight up, let's get into this video.
The civil rights are shaken, and this is a call to action. Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, two representatives for the state of Tennessee, are facing so much injustice, and it's indicative to what's going to be a bigger problem going on in America if we don't get our heads out of Pound Town and get our heads in the government game. There's a lot to this story. There's a lot. Let's talk about it. Justin Jones is the 52nd House Representative in Tennessee. He was silenced on the floor. Now, he was silenced when he was speaking about gun reform, getting these teachers paid a wage where they can live, getting the cops out of the schools, and more money towards mental health awareness in the community, so our schools and our children can stop being unalived at school, especially our elementary school, high school students. Well, he was silenced when he was speaking about that. And he was silenced by the House Representative Leader, Cameron Sexton. This is Cameron Sexton, obviously cloud colored. You could have guessed that without looking, but it definitely gives me massive vibes, slave owner. And that's exactly back where we're headed if these type of situations keep going under the radar. See, when he silenced Brother Jones, all the people came out and they started protesting, asking for him to resign. Let me show you the photo of that. This is immediately after he was silenced. They tried to adjourn the entire meeting. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to face it. The protesters came in, and Representative Justin Pearson and Representative Jones immediately started protesting with the people because they're here for what? The actual humans, the actual Americans, the actual people. They're not here lobbying for the NRA. See, the issue is these white people that work in government are getting paid so much under the table by the NRA. They're paid for their silence. They're not gonna talk. They're not gonna let you talk. They're not gonna stand up for human rights. They don't care. Their kids go to private school, and most importantly, Justin Jones keeps saying Cameron Sexton does not live in the district that he represents. Y'all need to know that too. These government officials that y'all vote in do not live in the communities they represent. So the community that they represent, they do not have the best interest of. They don't live there. They don't care about the poor people that work under them. They do not care. And what happens in turn is good brothers like this are silenced on the floor, almost in turn going to lose their jobs for sticking up for the group of people because they're fighting the almighty dollar that's stuffing the pockets of these higher ups, of these Republicans. Now, what Mr. Jones said was they silenced him this time. Next time they're going to silence him for 3 meetings. And then if they decide to silence him again, it'll be indefinitely, completely taking away his voice. That is nothing but slavery. Controlling the narrative so the slaves can endure whatever they endure. But I control the narrative at the top to make sure y'all don't get the message of freedom out. That is what's happening here. And our people are so engulfed in stupid stuff. We're worried about so much stupid stuff, pouring out bottles in clubs to see who got the most money. Then we're not seeing that we're going back to slavery. Do y'all want to be in chains again? Because I don't. And it's going right back to that. We are literally sending kids to school, teaching them how to do survival tactics in elementary school. Do y'all not see that there's a bigger problem here outside of just what Sexy Red and Sukiyana got going on? See, I sound like an old person, but we too worried about Lotto ripping herself out the plastic, and we not worried about these young brothers really fighting for us at the top, okay? Because, see, Tennessee is about to be Texas. Tennessee is about to be Florida. They're about to take away all human rights from people that are poor. It's not just going to be if you black, you in slaves and chains. It's going to be everybody that don't got no money. And I'm telling y'all right now, you better look alive and get serious because it's a serious time happening. Here's my call to action. Here's what I want us to do. I want us to start going to school for government. I want us to be more judges, more politicians, more lawyers. We have to find like a trend going that we all just start being in government. Because what these cloud color people are doing, they are raising up their kids with no emotion and breeding them to be in government. If you watch that documentary, Shiny Happy People, where they talked about the 20 kids and counting family, those families, those kind of families, they take their kids and they take things from them. They make them emotionally clear. They make them completely subservient, and then they raise them to be government officials. They raise them to be police officers, judges. They put them in government positions with no sense of emotional intelligence, none of that. And what it does is those are the type of people that are running our offices and making laws, and they're making them for the greater good of the evil. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to counteract that by getting those jobs and voting. We have to get those jobs. We have to vote. We have to make our politicians superstars. And we have to do it now before we are back in slaves and chains. And I'm not playing.
Right now, as we speak in the Tennessee Assembly, Speaker Saxton has silenced Brother Jones. He ruled him out of order with the new Republican rules that have been put in place twice and then silenced him. This also means the no confidence votes that Congressman Jones was going to be bringing, he can't do that now. This is a blatant abuse of power by Republicans. And Republicans are planning on removing Fani. And when you look at the cesspool of the comments there, you just sit back and say, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. This will, at some point, affect you, Republicans. Your leaders are going to do something that you don't like, and you will not have a voice. And if you think you're going to use your 2A argument, they will come and take them from you. Every single Democrat has walked out of the session in Tennessee right now. My friend's child goes to school in Texas. They've cut education so much that they are asking volunteers to come in and clean the schools because they can't even afford janitors. Let me repeat that. Texas can't afford janitors. They've made so many cuts to public schools. They need people to volunteer to come in and clean. And I'm going to give them about 2 months, and they're going to force the kids to clean the schools. Just like I told you they would. And in an unbelievable epiphany, Dr. Naomi Wolf, look at this eye-popping disparities in excess deaths from country to country in 2020. Wolf was a vaccine denier, vehemently spread bullshit. You may remember her from this tweet, where somebody took an image of a doctor and put this little writing over it. You know what that is? That's a porn star. She thought she was tweeting a real doctor. That's a porn star.
Man, these white hooded Republican lawmakers in my lovely state of Tennessee, y'all, when I say they own one, they own one. Take a listen as they voted temporarily to silence Representative Justin Jones. Jones. You know, he was one of the big three that they tried to get rid of initially. Now, they are claiming that he was out of order for simply asking a question about a bill. Imagine that, doing your job while black. But don't take my word for it. Just watch. Press play.
I was ruled out of order. And why is it that I can be permanently silenced for speaking about issues that are germane to the legislation and germane to the concerns of my district?
Jones was silenced under new rules adopted by House Republicans last week, rules that they argued would help maintain order. Under those rules, if you get called out of order twice the same day, you cannot speak for the rest of the day. Jones's offense, on a bill to expand the ability of private schools to allow people to carry guns on campus, he argued more guns was not the solution.
What is one little Glock against an AR-15?
Representative Jones, that's not the bill that's before you, sir. You're out of order.
And a few minutes later, on a bill to allow police to put cops in schools, even if the district doesn't want them, his offense was arguing that more cops wasn't the answer.
We need funding for mental health, for counselors. We need to pay our teachers better. We don't need more police in our schools.
Representative Jones, you're off the bill again, sir. You're out of order. Sorry. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 70, 20 nays.
Republicans voted to silence the Nashville Democrat for the rest of the day. The speaker defended the decision.
Is you have to stay on the topic of the legislation.
It looks like that arguing that we don't need more guns or more police in schools was the reason for him being silenced.
It was about what he was saying that was not germane to the bill.
It's the voice of democracy getting slaughtered.
Larry Woods has coached Democratic politicians at every level of government in the fine art of debate. We showed him Jones's remarks on the guns in private schools bill.
What is one little Glock against an AR-15?
Representative Jones, that's not the bill that's before you, sir. You're out of order.
Was he out of order?
No. And when people like State Representative Justin Jones make a measured, calm, studious argument about here's what we ought to be looking at, here's what we ought to be doing, they want him exiled. They want him silenced. And they manipulated the rules to do that.
This is legitimate debate in your mind?
Of course it is.
That SROs have not been shown to reduce instances of mass shootings.
As for Jones's argument against putting more cops in schools,
we need to pay our teachers better. We don't need more police in our schools.
Representative Jones, you're off the bill again, sir. You're out of order.
And that comment was considered to be the final straw.
I was stunned. When I heard that was the comment, I thought, surely that can't be right. This is no yelling and screaming kind of, that kind of debate. This is very calm, measured.
He was saying SROs are not the answer. Better teacher pay is the answer. Better mental health is the answer.
But that's his opinion.
If his opinion, though, is that other things would better solve the problem than the bill being discussed, why should he not have the latitude to express that opinion?
Well, because the rules on the House has always been, and that's the Masons rules as well, is you stay germane to the topic of the bill.
Democrats saw a double standard when a Republican went off topic to take a swipe at Jones.
Ultimately, will not be believed about anything, no matter how many times any such member gets up.
Representative Bolso, stay on the bill.
So he tells him, stay on the bill, but he doesn't bang the gavel and rule him out of order. Is that a double standard?
Absolutely.
It's pretty clear that Representative Jones has gotten under your skin. Do you feel like it's become personal?
I don't think he's under my skin. I think what we're going to do is we're going to hold the rules and we're going to hold him accountable. You're out of order.
So not only is Representative Justin Jones getting under his skin, you see, he don't like the complexion of his skin and the caucasity of it all, trying to silence voices of black politicians who were elected by the people for the people. Now, by chance, did y'all catch that when the white representative did the exact very same thing as Justin Jones? Was he silenced? Why, no. Because in this state and in this country, it's different strokes for different folks. And see, that's what happens when you got the complexion for the protection. Now, things got a little touchy and a little heated after the legislative session ended, and not even allowing the vote to even take place. But you see, this is what happens when the good old boy system is in play. Because in this country, when a black man steps out of line, it's up to a white man to put him in his place. All because his privilege has told him so. And those would be facts on facts on facts on top of facts. We will not be silenced. Carry on.
Democrats walked off the House floor tonight as our undemocratic speaker once again shut down our youngest black member, Representative Justin Jones, called him out of order twice, and took a vote to silence him for the rest of the day. However, another member, a Republican, was also called out of order twice tonight. No vote was taken to silence that member for the rest of the night. That didn't happen. But what you don't know, perhaps, is that Justin Jones had notified every member he was going to call for a vote of no confidence on the speaker. And guess what? The speaker took away his voice for the rest of the night on the House floor.
Davidson County has plenty of representatives in this body. Let us decide for our county and speak for our county instead of forcing the will of the supermajority on a county that has already been mistreated and maligned. SROs have not been shown to reduce instances of mass shootings. Instead, what we've seen are disparities in terms of expulsion of students of color, students with disabilities. We've seen increased instances of students trafficked into the criminal justice system. What our schools need are mental health professionals. We need funding for mental health, for counselors. We need to pay our teachers better. We don't need more police in our schools.
Representative Jones, you're off the bill again, sir. You're out of order. Oh, that's two. I'm sorry, we're on the board. That's the second time being out of order today for being off the bill. There's no point of order. It's non-debatable. We're on the board.
Are you saying that we're voting if members thought that the member was off subject? 90% of the individuals in here wasn't listening to him, number one. Can you tell me what he said? Because I'm sure you heard it, that was ruled out of order. So I can know how to vote.
I do not have a transcription. It was ruled out of order. It's non-debatable. And the second time you're ruled out of order, it's a vote of the body.
I know this member has delivered something to my letter to everyone's office.
Representative Powell, you're under parliamentary inquiry, not a speech on the House floor, sir.
I heard the word debates or remarks. So I want to know how the clerk is taking this, that this member can no longer make a motion or present legislation that he has been elected to give.
Problem here is that you have the discretion to say what is and isn't out of order.
A previous representative, Bulso, was ruled out of order twice by the speaker for 2 comments, and no vote was had. Clerk, why didn't we have a vote for Representative Bulso?
Mr. Speaker, it was my understanding at the time that it was just a warning because the member was allowed to continue.
The speaker directly said out of order twice. He did not issue a warning.
It was my understanding that that was a warning.
This is a non-debatable issue, and it seems to me that we're entertaining debate.
That's the end of it. Mr. Clerk. Take the vote. Mr. Clerk, take the vote. The gallery's ruled out of order.
Aye, 70, 20 nays.
Department of Safety, please clear the balcony for disorderly behavior. It passes. Troopers, please clear the balcony.
I showed up 1 week ago today to my very first ever committee meeting in this state, and I was carried out by the Tennessee Highway Patrol for carrying up a small sign.
You have to drag me out, so be it. Is this what democracy looks like? No. Is this what democracy looks like? So we're in time? Y'all won't do this for people who bring guns to school. You have to drag me.
There's a lady back there holding a cell phone, standing up and looking at the legal room.
This is not what democracy looks like. We need a permit for the sign. What's the problem? We don't have to do any training if we get a permit. Should I do it backwards? We don't have any. The heroes are walking out.
If that's not telling of what's going on, I don't know what is. I would urge everybody to come and sit and see what's going on and to bear witness to what's going on. See how they're talking to their colleagues, how they're talking to their constituents. Do you agree with it? It is very eye-opening when you come and you see what's going on. I walked up here 6 days ago. I am a mom. I have stayed at home with my children for 9 years. And I know my constitutional rights. You don't have to be an attorney to know what your constitutional rights are.
So this is all I got from this video, and you all can see also that what is going on. And trust me, they have been on this for a longer time. This is not the first time they have tried to shut them down. You all know that they were expelled, and then they came back, I think last month. Yeah, they came back fully from the expulsion last month, and now this is happening. And then from what you all can see, I mean, when a black person tries to raise a topic where, about the whole thing going on in a Black community, or there is need for change, gun reform, I mean, better pay for teachers, better medical treatment and all that. I did not see anything out of order on that. He was actually speaking calmly and all that. And you heard what the man said. But there were other people of your color, who also were out of order, but they were asked to remain on the topic. There was no gravel hit on them or trying to tell them they are out of order. It wasn't first. It was, I mean, there were like about 2 persons. So they were just called back to order by just telling them that stick to the discussion. But the people that look like me, when they are saying the reality, the truth, what is going on and all that, they hit the gravel just to shut them down from their house. And you know what happens when you are shut down? When you are, it means you cannot speak for the rest of the meeting. I mean, everything going on. So the reality is that they are reality check. They know what they are doing. They are sure that they do not want them to speak. They have always been scared of those young men because they have been giving it to them back to back. I mean, they are the real voices of democracy and all that. But I think this is also a wake-up call for everyone. I mean, it is time to vote all these fascists out because, I mean, what are they all doing in that house? Causing havoc and not doing the right thing. Number one is that majority of the time, certain things are not even affecting them. Some of them are quite rich. So they do not know what is going on with the poor ones. How did they survive and the rest of it, hospital and all that. And you all can see what is going on with the Pe0ple thing all around and all that. Don't they think it is a very good idea that they look for a way to sort this out? Because there is need for Pe0ple reform with everything going around. And trust me, when there is Pe0ple reform, teachers are being paid very well, healthcare systems are really going. So what else? I mean, it is just amazing how they keep targeting them and think it is cool. It is not cool. But one thing I know is that the earlier the better. The earlier they try to put all these people out, the better for every one of us. Because democracy is what every government should always look out for. If you are not in for if you are not in for to stick with democracy, then you should be out and should not be in. This is what all I got to say. This is what I'm going to do and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.